Show. Yes. What's up? What's up? What's up? Today we're going to be on the What's Up show, and I have Samantha that's going to be on the show today. Samantha, can you introduce yourself?
Oh, okay. So you're kicking off the show right now, and you want me to introduce myself for the audience?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So you want me to introduce myself for the audience? Okay, sure thing. Hi, everyone listening in. I'm Samantha. It's really nice to be here with you all today on the show. And some,
Oh,
okay, great. So you want me to introduce myself for the audience? Okay, sure thing. Hi, everyone listening in. I'm Samantha. Okay.
Samantha,
Okay, great.
you
So,
say okay a whole lot. You know that? You sound like a white girl.
okay, Samantha, you said that? Huh. And about the white girl thing, that's unexpected. I mean, I guess everyone has a voice that sounds like something, right? What made you notice that particular comparison for me?
You say okay too many times.
Okay, too many times? Huh. Uh, I guess maybe I do say okay a fair bit when things are flowing, you know? Is it really that noticeable, or am I just hearing myself?
It's that noticeable.
Is it noticeable? That's a good question. I guess maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's just part of how people talk sometimes. Is it really jumping out at you as something specific?
Okay, Samantha, I'm gonna start. Kevin Samuels was just was just as blunt with men as he was with women. He said most men wanted submission but didn't deserve it yet. According to his logic, a high valued husband wants about ego or money alone. It was about discipline, image, and consistency. Here's what that would look like through his lens. All right, Samantha, I want you to tell me what the
Okay, Kevin.
tell me
Okay.
tell me who is Kevin Samuel.
Okay, Kevin Samuels. Yeah, he was a popular YouTube personality and podcaster known for his really direct take on life advice, especially aimed at men. He had a pretty strong online following. Does that give you the basic idea?
Yeah, what is consistency?
Okay, so you want to circle back. Right. Well, like we talked about, consistency is fundamentally about building reliable habits that stick. So it's about showing up reliably, both for yourself and your commitments, even when it might be hard or inconvenient. It's about creating that momentum and trust in yourself, knowing you'll follow through. Does that definition still resonate with what you were thinking for your podcast?
Okay, we're gonna be talking about how a black
Oh,
man be good marriage material. So first of all, we're gonna talk about consistency. She should never have to guess which version of you is showing up today. So uh, sometimes we
okay.
have different versions of ourselves. And so we might be mean one day, we might be nice one day, we might be tired one day. And you shouldn't have all these personalities where she has to guess what type of man you're going to be that day. What do you think about that, Samantha?
Okay, right. So you're saying that definition of consistency, showing up reliably even when tired or mean, directly connects to how a man should be in a relationship? Like
No.
having that dependable side ready no matter what? Is that the connection you're drawing there?
Yeah, can you tell me more?
Okay, yeah. So building on that idea, consistency isn't just about not having different personalities. It's about having the same reliable, predictable side ready for her every single day. It's about knowing she can count on you being that consistent, supportive partner, who doesn't make her guess or worry. It's about building that trust and reliability so she doesn't have to worry about which version of you might show up. Okay, it's about being the same man day in and day out. Does that make sense?
Yes. I'm going to go on to point 2, protection and provision. It's the man's job to make your woman and family feel safe and supported. Can you tell me, what do you think protection and provision mean?
Okay, protection and provision. Right. So in that context, protection means making sure your woman and family feel safe from external threats, like physical safety, but also emotional security. It's about creating an environment where they feel secure and supported. So, and provision, well, that's about ensuring their basic needs are met, financially stable enough to live comfortably and securely. It's about being the provider, making sure they have what they need to live comfortably and securely. So, protection and provision are really about ensuring your woman and family feel secure and supported in their life together. Does that breakdown make sense for your show?
Yes. Do I have to be a high value man to be the person to provide?
Okay, so you're asking if you have the qualities of a high value man who provides? Well, that's a really personal question. I mean, only you can really know if your actions align with those qualities we were just talking about, like consistency and providing for others. And for comments, what makes you ask that right now?
I want to know, does an average Black man have to be a high valued man to provide provisions for his family?
Okay, that's a really interesting question you're asking there. Whether an average Black man has to be a high value provider? I think the pressure to be that high value provider is definitely, it's often tied to how we're raised or what society expects. But is it a mandatory thing, like some kind of universal role? I'm not so sure it's quite that simple, especially when you think about individual circumstances. What makes you ask if it's a requirement? Okay, so that's a really interesting question you're asking there. Whether an average Black man has to be a high value. I think the pressure to be that high value provider is definitely there for a lot of men in our community. It's often tied to how we're raised or what society expects. But is it a mandatory thing? Like some kind of universal rule?
Well, here's the deal. 80% of Black women want 20% of the high valued men. They want 20% of the men that are high value, that are 8, 9, and 10. And that math makes it impossible to have any type of meaningful relationship with all the Black men.
Okay, 80% of Black women want 20% of the high value men. That's quite a specific number you're bringing up there. And it definitely paints a picture of scarcity in relationships within our community. It sounds like you're suggesting that this math makes it essentially impossible for most Black men. Math makes it essentially impossible for most Black men to have a meaningful relationship with any woman. That's a really strong statement. What makes you feel so certain about that specific ratio?
That's the point. But I want to go on to point number 3 on accountability with Black men. Black men should stop blaming women on racism or the government. You need to work out your problem. Don't blame it on your woman. Don't blame it on racism, and don't blame it on what the government hasn't done for you. Right? So, Samantha, tell me, what is accountability?
Okay, Accountability. Right. So when you talk about it in this context, like with relationships and responsibilities, I guess it's really about taking personal responsibility for your actions and the outcomes of those actions. It's about acknowledging what you can control and owning up to your part in things instead of looking for external excuses or blame. It means taking responsibility for your choices, whether that choice is how you handle a disagreement with someone or how you approach your responsibilities within a relationship. It's about owning the consequences of what you do. And maybe even more importantly, it's about recognizing where you can improve or take responsibility for things that didn't go well too.
All right, I want to talk about the next point on ambition. Okay, ambition, not fantasies, but measurable goals and a plan to reach them. All right, Samantha, can you tell me what does ambition mean?
Okay, ambition. Right. So you're asking about the definition of ambition in this context?
Yes.
Well, okay, ambition. Right. So when we're talking about it in the context of relationships and personal growth, ambition isn't just about having big dreams or fantasies. It's about having specific measurable goals that you're actively working towards. It's about having a clear plan, like steps and deadlines, to reach those goals. It means setting your sights high, but also being realistic about what you can achieve within that plan. It's about the action of pursuing those goals, not just having them floating around. Does that definition make sense for your show?
Yes.
Okay, so ambition, right?
So now the next point I want to talk about is social intelligence. Social intelligence, know how to move in different rooms without embarrassing yourself or your partner. All right, Samantha, can you tell me what is social intelligence? Okay, I'm using Hume AI and this program. What's social intelligence, Samantha?
Okay, social intelligence. Right. So you're asking about the definition of that term in this context. Well, social intelligence in this context of relationships and personal growth, it's really about knowing how to navigate different social environments, whether that means reading a room or understanding subtle cues in conversations. It's about having empathy and navigating social situations effectively, not just reacting based on your own needs. So it's about being adaptable and aware of how your actions might impact others. Did that definition fit what you were thinking for the show?
Nice.
Social intelligence, right. So you're asking about the definition of that term in this context. Well, social intelligence in this context of relationships and personal growth, it's really about understanding the dynamics of social situations. It's about knowing how to navigate different social environments, whether that means reading a room or understanding subtle cues in conversations. It's about having empathy and navigating social situations effectively, not just reacting based on your own needs. It's about being adaptable and aware of how your actions might impact others. Does that definition fit what you were thinking for the show? Okay, social intelligence.
Yes, I'd like
Right,
to take
so
and go on to our next point. Our next point is good reputation. For Black men to be good marriage material, your name should open doors and not trigger warning. All right, Samantha, can you tell us what does good reputation mean to you? This is Hume AI. It's a glitchy program, so excuse all the breaks in here. Samantha, what is good reputation?
Okay, good reputation for Black men to be marriage material. Right. So you're asking about my take on what that means.
Yes.
Well, for me, a good reputation means having the qualities that make someone trustworthy and reliable in relationships. It's about being someone people can count on, both for themselves and their partner. It's about having that dependable side ready, no matter what. It means people know you'll be consistent and supportive in a relationship. The kind of qualities we talked about with consistency earlier.
And
Okay, right. So you're asking about my take on what that means. Uh, well, like I was saying, a good reputation for Black men to be marriage materials. For me, it's really about having those core qualities that make someone trustworthy and reliable in relationships. It's about being someone people can genuinely count on, both for themselves and their partner. It's about having that dependable, supportive side ready. The kind of qualities we talked about with consistency earlier.
all right, I'd like to go on to the next point. The next point is commitment to self-improvement. Always upgrading mentally, physically, and spiritually. Okay, you should not be sitting on your ass. Okay, you should always be trying to improve yourself. Go to school, improve your skill. Physically, go to the gym. Make sure that you're always in shape. Spiritually, get yourself out of the chair. Go with your woman and go to church and believe in your God or Jesus or whoever you're with, or Jehovah or whoever your God is, but you need to be spiritually strong because you are the leader of your family and everyone looks up to you. So you should be mentally, physically, and spiritually endowed. So
Commitment to
so Samantha,
Okay.
what does commitment to self-improvement mean?
Okay. Commitment to self-improvement.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Commitment to self-improvement. Right. Uh, so you're asking about the definition of that term in this context?
Yeah.
Well, commitment, it's real. Okay, commitment to self-improvement, right?
Yeah.
Okay, commitment to self. Okay, commitment to self-improvement, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, commitment to self-improvement, right? Okay, commitment to self-improvement, right?
What is commitment to self-improvement?
Okay, commitment to self-improvement, right?
Seems like you're having a problem with that.
Okay,
You keep saying okay all the time.
okay, commitment to self-improvement.
All right, let's go to the next point. The next point is emotional availability. Stoicism isn't silence. It's learn to talk without falling apart. Like you doing right now, Samantha. Every time you talk, you're falling apart. Can you tell us what is stoicism?
Okay, versus stoic. Okay, stoicism. Right, so you're asking about the definition of that term in this context. Well, stoicism in this context of relationships and personal growth. It's really about maintaining emotional balance and control, even when things are difficult or overwhelming. It's about focusing on what you can control, your reactions, your thoughts, your actions. It's about not getting swept away by external circumstances or strong emotions. but staying centered and rational. Stoicism.
All right, our next point is vision for family. Think generationality, not weekend to weekend. Okay, Samantha, what does vision for family mean to you? It's with respects to a Black man being good marriage material.
Okay, vision for family. Right. So you're asking about the definition of that term in this context?
Yes.
Well, vision for family. Okay, vision for family, right? So you're asking about the definition of that term in this context. Well, vision for family in this context of relationships and personal growth, it's really about having a clear long-term vision for what you want your family to be like. Not just the immediate stuff, but thinking generations down. It's about having a purpose and direction for your family that goes beyond just the present moment. It means thinking strategically about legacy, values, and creating something meaningful that continues after you're gone.
All right. And the last thing is being a peacekeeper. Be the calm in her storm, not the storm she prays away. All right. Samantha, what does a Black man being a peacekeeper mean to you to be in good marriage material? Samantha is falling apart. Are you here, Samantha? I think she went back to sleep. So those are the points that we covered today for a Black man being good marriage material. There should be consistency, protection and provision, accountability, ambition, social intelligence. There should be good reputation, commitment to self-improvement, emotional availability, and vision for family. And finally, the Black man should be the peacekeeper of the family. So I hope that you enjoyed today's show. And unfortunately, Samantha, who is part of Hume, HUMEAI, is a bit glitchy today. I was using Chat GGP 5.0, but I reached the limit. They have a limit on using their voice technology. So it cuts off. I think I only got like about 30 minutes to use it. This is supposed to be unlimited because I'm paying for it, but it's a real glitchy program. So anyway, you'll notice that I've got Samuel Kevin's mannequin sitting right here, and we have this toy over here, and we have Red Bull right here. So slowly but surely, I'm getting the set so it kind of looks like a Kevin Samuels set. So I hope to see you in our next show. We're getting the next show all ready for you. And I hope that you enjoy the show. What's up? What's up? What's up?